Indeed. We want to get to Nathan Diament. He's the executive director of the Orthodox Union Advocacy Center and attended yesterday's White House roundtable on Israel and anti-Semitism. He joins us now, and thank you for being here. I felt that the reaction to the president's statement yesterday and the last 2 days and his meeting with you yesterday was well received and welcomed. Maybe get your take on that meeting. Did you feel that you got what you needed out of that particular meeting?
Yes, good morning. I'm pleased to be with you, although it's under terrible circumstances. You know, the most important thing the president did yesterday in his meeting with us as American Jewish community leaders and the day before was a clear statement of moral clarity, that Hamas is evil, that there's no excuse and no rationalization for what they're doing. The President of the United States, thankfully, has shown more sense and more leadership than the presidents of some esteemed universities around this country who don't seem to know right from wrong. And one of the things I did yesterday was point out to President Biden, that we were meeting, it was a group of about 20 of us Jewish community leaders in the United States. We were meeting with him in the White House almost exactly 80 years to the day when a group of several hundred rabbis came to Washington to try to petition President Franklin Roosevelt to intercede against the evil that Nazi Germany was perpetrating against Jews at the time. And they could not get a meeting with President Roosevelt. They were turned away and were not allowed to see him. Mm-hmm. And what a contrast it is that we were invited into the White House to meet with President Biden, and he, to his credit, made the right and clear moral statement, and we appreciate his leadership.
Right now we're showing on screen, Nathan, Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, is in Tel Aviv. He flew there yesterday. He had the meeting today with Benjamin Netanyahu in a press conference. He's now visiting a donation site, which is helping to get supplies and information. You can hear them there thanking him for being there. No doubt, as you're talking about, the solidarity and the show of support means a lot. I want to ask your help in helping us explain to others, especially maybe those on college campuses or those hearing from their friends on social media, things that is against Israel that they don't quite understand. A couple of statistics here call for number one, that Jewish people account for only 2.4% of the U.S. population. They face more than 50% of religiously motivated hate crimes. That's the most of any other group. And Barry Weiss was on America's Newsroom earlier this week just trying to explain her perspective on it that is helpful. But I want to get yours as well. Listen to her here.
But this is different. What has happened over the past 72 hours is the biggest slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust. In this case, with Hamas in 2023, they are live streaming their atrocities on TikTok. They're filming them with sophisticated drones. They're gleefully and proudly showing the extent of their barbarism. What this is a massacre being live streamed in real time.
And so, Nathan, can you help others understand this, especially on college campuses? What can we do to help try to turn around a terrible trend?
I think, you know, it's not only a teaching of Judaism, but of many faiths. You know, we send our kids to school, but the children's best teachers are their parents. And I think parents, whether your child is a small child going off to kindergarten or going off to university, parents can play a critical role in talking to their children about the basics of what's right and what's wrong in this world. That's every parent's responsibility. And we've seen in a variety of ways in recent years in which American parents have learned to not fully outsource the education of their children to others. Most parents in America have good values, have Judeo-Christian values, and they need to engage with their children, and there are lots of resources to help them engage with their children. So that's where I would start.
And then where do we go from here? The media, you can already see some headlines in some places suggesting that Israel needs to back off. It needs to rethink. It needs to be cautious. It maybe needs to even talk about a ceasefire or a truce. That is not going to happen in this case. And so what is the capability of the supporters of Israel to push back against that?
Look, that's the reason why we were speaking to the President of the United States yesterday. A couple of days before, there was a rally that my organization co-sponsored in Manhattan that the governor of New York and the mayor of the city of New York were there, and other elected officials. We are fully engaged with the political leadership and it's also important that cultural leaders in the United States and elsewhere, sports figures, all people of influence, frankly, who have a basic sense of right and wrong and can't imagine justifying or rationalizing the slaughter of innocent babies on the one hand and innocent elderly people on the other hand, and everybody in between that we've all seen that these barbarous terrorists perpetrated. We all need to stand strong and resolute and support the Israel's going to war against this army of evil that is Hamas. It's going to take a long time, and war is messy. There's no question about that. There's also no question that the people of Israel are absolutely resolute, and they're going to see this through, and our role is to be supportive and morally clear with them throughout.
Nathan Diament, thank you so much for being here. We want to get to
Thank
Lloyd
you.
Austin.